You get some starting lineups here. All right, 17 minutes on the board. Warriors tapping the goalie. Little luck. Racy wins the faceoff back to Harn. Harn over to Loeb. Racy in the slot. Looking to open it up. Looking for Buchan on the far side. Buchan accidentally slides into the side of the net, knocks it off his moorings. We'll get a face-off to the left of the Kansas City goalie. Just outside the zone. Buchan, Racy, Loeb, Rowe, and Harn are your defensemen. Racy wins another one back. Harn sends it in. Buchan beats him to it. And now we got another stoppage of play. Loeb kicked off because of a net guard. Caldwell kicks it through. Buchan on the far side looking for a wrap. He steps in to help out. Now to the far side. Kansas City on a break, looking for a centering pass. And he's going to end up in the goalie, number 24. Waterloo is not going to be happy about that. That's one way to set the tone for the game. Net getting reset. Change of personnel for the Warriors. Graveman had a helmet, looked like it almost was ripped off of his head by number 24. I don't have nobody's wearing nameplates, and reading that lineup is kind of poor. Bushbaum chases. Caldwell steps in. Kansas City on a break. Awful close on the offsides there. Puck comes to the close boards. That's going to travel outside the zone. Caldwell with some pressure. Bushbaum on the far side. Kansas City always has that man looking for that stretch pass on that side. On either side, rather. Buchan sends it around for Hall. Kansas City sends it back the other way. Off of the ceiling, Buchan looking for the rodeo pass. That one's going to end up in the ceiling and face off just inside the zone for Waterloo. Kansas City wins it back. Shot. Quick shot. Buchan tries to track it down on the far side. Comes back in the zone for Harn. Harn will bring it out. Chips it for Loeb. Couldn't hold on to it. Buchan picks a pocket. Sends it down below the goal line. Loeb steps in. Reaching for it. Now it's going to be a... Oh, Buchan picks the pocket. He's going to send it, chip it back in the zone. Pulls up short. Takes a look. Fans on a pass. Kansas City back the other way through the neutral zone. I guess they're going to let them battle. Buchan sends it in. Glove save. He's going to let it go. Some pressure by Reichertz. Caldwell steps in. Buchan looking to put a shoulder on him. Tompkins now tries to clear the zone. There's going to be offside call. Reichertz, Caldwell, Bushbaum, Buchan, and Tompkins. Kansas City wins it back. Caldwell with some pressure. Bushbaum will bring it in. Chips it to the end boards. Has Reichert's in front. Can't get a pass to him. Leaves it for Caldwell. Back out front. Shovels it towards the net. He'll grab it and hold on. Caldwell couldn't tell if he won that one or lost it. It kind of trickled right there, sat there. Bushbaum with a lot of pressure. Caldwell working for it. Buchan stepped up trying to intercept the pass. Travels out. That one's going to be offside. That should be offsides. Now we're going to get an offsides call. Teaching the linesmen as we go tonight. Buchan chips it all the way in. He's got a little bit of room. 1-on-3. Looking for Loeb out front. He'll circle all the way around. Leaves it for Rowe. Off the glass. Trying to gather it back up with the glove. Kansas City will bring it in. Quick shot. That's the one you got to watch out for. You got to close that gap on number 6. He'll shoot and score all day. Waterloo down 1-1. $13:10 left to go. Racy had it won. Loeb had a pocket pick to look like. Foot race. Buchan will get there. Takes a big hit as he does. Rowe chips it back in. Buchan will have to touch up. Loeb drops in with some pressure. Bushbaum looking for Caldwell. Caldwell's got some room to skate. 1-on-4. This game's going to get out of control real fast. Some of this stuff doesn't start getting called. Kansas City from behind their own net. High off the glass. Caldwell holds the zone, sends it towards the net. Reichert steps in. Holds it behind the net. Tompkins sends one in. Almost deflected off a Bushbaum. Buchan will pick it up. He'll bring it to the close boards. Steps around. He's got some room. Short angle shot. Deflected wide. Around to the backside of the net. Tompkins holds the zone. Buchan has to retreat. He chips it in. Waterloo will touch up on the offsides. And Waterloo go on a power play. First power play group for Waterloo is going to be Buchan, Racy, Harn, and Caldwell. Caldwell wins it back. Racy to Buchan. Buchan across for Harn. Harn takes a look. Over to Cale Buchan. Cale walks in. Shot high over the net. That was a travel outside the zone. Waterloo will have to touch up. Harn has it. Harn with a slow roll through neutral ice. Over to Buchan. Buchan, he'll take a hit as he brings it in the zone. Racy and Caldwell work. Racy below the goal line. looking for Buchan across the crease. Harn now steps into the high slot. He'll wire one through. Shot off the inboards. Caldwell, he'll bring it around, leaves it for Buchan. Buchan takes a look. Pass intercepted, and Kansas City will clear. Back in, 2 on Harn with a shot. Ends up off the pads of a Kansas City defenseman. Buchan will chase. From behind his own net. Up to Coots. Coots across center ice. He'll walk all the way in the low slot. Kansas City kicks it to the sideboards. Waterloo will set back up. That one's going to be deflected up into the high off the glass. Stays in the zone, and Kansas City will clear. Tompkins back up to that Rowe on the far side. Looks like Rowe on the far side. Number 24 for Kansas City just met a brick wall. Tompkins will send one, and that's going to be deflected off a body. Put a little pressure on. Kansas City clears through the red line, and we're going to get an offsides call. Not sure that was the right call there. It looked like puck already might have traveled through the zone, had control. Maybe as it came off of his stick, not sure. Rasty Loeb and Buchan. Buchan pushes it through, has his pocket pick, number 6. Keep saying number 6. Brody McAfee. Harn picks it up. He'll send it around for Loeb. Loeb can't handle it, goes right past. So that one, that's out. Back into Waterloo's zone. Stretch pass for Buchan intercepted. Kansas City will chip it back in. Harn from behind his own net. Meets some pressure. He loses the puck. Buchan chips it out. A lot of back and forth. And an icing call. Right at the halfway period of this, at the halfway of the period. Coots won it back, just past Buchan. Buchan can't get it around. Tompkins now, he has a pocket pick, comes up to the midboards. Hall tries to clear and can't. That one's going to travel way wide and high. Hall sends one in, loose in front. Battle for it. Tompkins stands his ground. Another shot comes in. Kansas City with another shot that comes in. Well high. Coots sends it out. That was going to be, I thought that one might have got tipped by number 7. Micah Amon. Caldwell set to take the draw. Harn on a break had it rolled just off his stick, out of his reach. Kansas City back the other way. Reichertz over to Bushbaum. Bushbaum bumped off the puck. Stretch pass for big hit for Rowe. Waterloo will clear it into the neutral zone. Kansas City will bring it back in. Easy save for Graveman to the far side. Left for Rowe. Rowe clears it into neutral ice again. Waterloo will have to work for it. Caldwell, lots of pressure. Kansas City will clear it. Buchan across, he chips to the far corner. Loeb drops in with some pressure. Kansas City did the close boards and out. Raisty holds the zone. Loeb looking for somebody in front. Can't quite get a pass off. Buchan chips it down, can't find a body. That one will clear. Raisty in his own zone. Over to Tompkins, back to Raisty. To Loeb, Loeb will chip it in. Behind the goal line, Buchan will pick it up. Sidesteps a hit. Has Loeb in front, can't connect. Buchan again around the backside, looking for somebody. Up to his brother. Miscommunication. Turnover for Waterloo. Buchan with the right idea, closing the gap on McAfee. He's the one that's going to take it all the way in. Buchan with a pocket, gets a pocket pick. Coots steps in to help out. Now Hall. Kansas City through the neutral zone. Knocked off the play. Up to Hall. Shot well wide. Pass deflected by Buchan. That one's going to go up to the point, back down. Graveman will hold on. Great save by Lincoln Graveman. Face off to his left. Just over 5 minutes left to go in the first. Waterloo trailing by 1. Over to Reichertz. Reichert steps through. Has his pocket picked in the slot. Couldn't get a shot off. Icing. We'll get an icing call on Kansas City back in the far side. Caldwell wins it to Bushbaum. Bushbaum can't get a stick on it. Kansas City on a race, on a rush. Looking for a shot in front. Graveman gets a stick on it. Rowe up to Bushbaum. Bushbaum tries to find Reichertz. Big hit by Caldwell. 2-on-1. Shoveled and sticked away. Rowe wires one deflected in front. That was going to end up on the side of the net. Gracie tied up on the face-off. Kansas City will come away with it. Dane Kaufman into the zone. Big hit by Carter Buchan. Loeb kicks it out of the zone. Can't hold it. Waterloo will have to touch up. Stretch pass again for Kansas City, looking for McAfee. Buchan Kicks it around the boards. Loeb can't get a hold of it. Another shot comes in from the point well wide. Buchan had a little bit of room and it had a roll off of his stick. Now Coots pushes it back in the zone, into the Kansas City zone. Kansas City from behind their own net. Hill picks it up at the blue line. Shot comes in. Loses control behind the net. Kansas City back the other way. Rowe will pull it out, wait for Waterloo to touch up, sends it into the corner. Hill will chase. Kansas City back the other way. That one's going to go all the way down for icing. Couple opportunities for the Warriors, couldn't capitalize. Caldwell into the corner. Puts another big shoulder in. Reichertz helps out in the corner. Kansas City back the other way. Looking for a centering pass. Rowe intercepts the pass. Puck ends up on the midboards. 2.5 left to go. Comes out. Kansas City will take over. To the high slot. Shot. Back to the point. Shot comes in. Looked like he might have been screened in front on that one. Arn might have stepped in right at the last minute and screened Graveman. Ended up in the far side of the net. Kansas City up by 2. Rasty wins it back. Tompkins chips it in the zone. Big shoulder by Buchan. Tompkins tries to wire one in off the ankle of Kansas City forward. Buchan works around the backside, trying to find Rasty in the high slot. Three Warriors on the close boards. Puck goes all the way across. Buchan can't quite get to it. Chips around for Loeb. Loeb finds Kale on a breakaway. Whoa, where's the penalty on that? Oh my gosh. No penalty at all. Waterloo fans are not happy about that. Kale Buchan tackled on the play all alone. No extra energy from the Waterloo bench. I think that might be a Buchan skates with it again. He looks like he might be hurting a little bit. Shot drifts high. Reichertz holds his own, kicks it back down low. I think Buchan's hurt. Rowe tries to get a shot off in the just outside the slot. 31 seconds left. Up to Reichertz. Reichertz has a little bit of room. Around one, works through, tries to tuck it. Harn holds the zone. Not for long. Kansas City back out. 3 seconds left. Icing is going to be the call. Far side. Caldwell, Bushbaum, Reichertz. Rowe and Harn. Quick shot. That one's going to end up on top of the net. And that'll do it that'll be the end of the period. Little skirmish in front at the whistle. Little chatting afterwards. No penalties handled out. Waterloo will go to the locker rooms down 2 at the first period. All right, we're back. Warriors taking the ice. Take a couple of laps here. Cale Buchan back out. Looks like he might have been shook up on that entanglement that he got into on his breakaway. They ended up piling him into the boards. Gonna get 17 minutes on the scoreboard here. Warriors out shooting the Jets 7-5. Unfortunately, still with an unfortunate 2-goal deficit. Buchan, Racy, Loeb to start your first period. Rowe and Harn, your defensemen. Loeb sends it in hard. Doesn't make it anywhere off the linesman, it looks like. Buchan picks it up, drops it, looking for Loeb. He's going to spin to the outside, up to the point. Harn wires one. Pad save and gloved by Krugel. Is it Krugel? Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Warriors with the same personnel. Kansas City will get a full change. Kansas City wins it back. They're going to chip it to the midboards and out. Harn will send it back in. We're going to get an offsides call. Kansas City took over. Not sure exactly why the offsides, but inadvertent deflection. Waterloo will take a full line change. Caldwell, Bushbaum, and Reichert's on the far side. Buchan and Tompkins. They try to chip it in deep. Doesn't go. Bushbaum chips it out. Gets to the red line. That's going to be about it. Kansas City back inside. Buchan from behind his own net. Cut off. Big save by Grayman. Puck loose in front. Bushbaum got a stick on it. Caldwell sent it almost the length of the ice. Kansas City from behind their own net. Chips it up. That'll go down for icing. They're going to wave off icing, rather. I think if I was Grayman, I would have chipped that a lot further out. We're going to get a face-off inside the Waterloo zone. Dolan taking charge, not letting them make a line change. Buchan deflects one. That was going to be up into the netting. Now Kansas City will change. Racy wins it back. Harn chips it to the tries to chip it to the midboards. Kansas City blocks it down. Big shot from the point. Graveman gets a glove on it. He's going to hold on. Kansas City now wins it back. Buchan and Loeb race for it. Off of Loeb, I think that one traveled out. Rowe will charge for it. To the midboards, looking for Buchan. Buchan's got some room. Sidesteps one. Roll, send it in. Waterloo offsides, travels to the far side. Harn will track it down. That one's actually going to be icing on Kansas City. Back into the Kansas City zone. We get a line change. Looks like Hild, Caldwell, and Reichertz. Buchan tries to wire one through. That's off of the pads of McAfee, actually. Centering pass, looking for Caldwell. Doesn't connect. Hild shuts it off in front. Over to Caldwell. Caldwell couldn't get it on his stick. Up to Buchan. Buchan, cross ice pass for Tompkins. Wires one in front. Couldn't get enough on it. Trying to hold the zone. Tompkins now. Cross ice pass looking for Buchan on the far side. Lots of big hits going on. Open ice pass, 2-on-1 if they hurry. Tompkins with a big hit. Did he just get up like nothing happened? That's the worst thing ever. If you're not hurt, get up. Unless he truly was out and he might not return to the game. It's I don't know. I couldn't tell from up here, but that's one thing I always told my boys. If you're not hurt, get up. If you're not injured, get up. If you're hurt, get moving. Kansas City wins it back. They're going to send it to the inboards. Loeb looking for Buchan. And another one up to the ceiling. The rodeo play is not working tonight. Trying to get it up to Buchan. Tied up on the play. Unfortunately, this game is going to get worse, I think, before it gets better. Into the neutral zone. Across the blue line. That's going to be offsides. Number 17. Brody Lee. Can't believe the call with both skates in the blue zone. Get a personnel change. Buchan and Tompkins. Caldwell pushes it through. Graveman tries to shut it off behind his own net. Buchan has a pocket picked. That was a travel up the midboards. And gets a clear. Ooh! Graveman just gets a stick on it. Caldwell across the blue line. Steps through. That should be an interference call. Puck nowhere close. Or a roughing. Caldwell has his head. And now we're going to get a unsportsmanlike conduct. That'll carry a 10-minute. Chaos, chaos, chaos. It's gonna keep going until the referee starts blowing that whistle. Five on three. Somebody also have to set it. Somebody also have to step in the box to serve the 10-minute misconduct penalty, or to serve the. I guess if he was assessed a 2-minute. Referee Dolan explaining his point, side on the calls. Kansas City head coach not happy about the call. Up to the point for Harn. Buchan fires one. A blocker save. Back up to Harn. Over to Buchan. Buchan looking. Oh, back to Harn. Harn walks in. In front. Shoveled in front. Creating some chaos in front. Caldwell gets another goal. Off a couple of bodies. Waterloo will still be on a power play. Be a 5-on-4 for the next minute 38. Hopefully this is a momentum changer for the Warriors. Looks like we're going to run the same power play line. There we go, we got one cleared. Back to Buchan. Over to Harn. Carter will drop in. Sidesteps a hit. Puck travels just outside of his reach. Caldwell to Buchan. Back to Caldwell. Buchan wires one through off a post. Kansas City tries to clear. Kale holds it. Back to Buchan from Caldwell. Caldwell looking for somebody in front. Buchan gathers it back up. Tries to find Caldwell again. Pass intercepted. Buchan sends it down below the goal line. Kale Buchan takes a hit below the goal line. Up to Harn. Harn takes a look. In front, still loose, and Kansas City will clear. It's going to be a foot race. Harn and McAfee. McAfee will pull up. 37 seconds left to go. Oh my gosh. Mishandled puck. Hard wrap. And Kansas City clears once again. Not a lot of urgency for this power play group. Tompkins, Hild, Rowe. Another mishandle. Coots will bring it in. He's got a line. Quick glove save by Krugel. He's going to hold on to that. Back to 5-on-5 hockey. Ten and a half left to play. Coots, Hild, Hall, Rowan, Tompkins. Kansas City wins it back. High off the glass. Rowe holds it, sends it back into the slot. Back around to the far boards. Intercepted pass. Hild brings it in. Reverse hit by Hild. Kansas City back the other way. Another big hit by Tompkins. How about 2 for embellishment? That's the second time that they've had players laying on the ice. And that was definitely a clean hit. Definitely a clean hit. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not sure what the Kansas City fans are. That's just a big hit by a big boy. If anybody knows Carter Tompkins, they know that that's a big boy. Glad to see him up and moving. But you can't be on the tracks when the train's coming through. Ten minutes left to go in the second period. There will definitely be a second thought of him taking the puck in like that again. Kansas City wins it back. They're going to send it in deep. Graveman will step out of his crease to play it. Back around for Bushbaum. Bushbaum trying to clear. Caldwell looking to help out. Kansas City comes, oh, nope, Caldwell comes away with it. He's in a hard wrap looking for Reichertz. Reichertz can't clear the zone. Caldwell tried to bring it out. He's poke checked. Stays in. Short angle shot. We definitely do not look like we're in our comfort zone. Hard shot from the point comes through. Arnold take a look behind his own net. Has his pocket picked out front. Caldwell and Reichertz. Bouncing puck. Caldwell can't get a hold of it. That might have been off of a pad. That was a travel up and out. Cale Buchan, he's going to go for a skate. All the way across. Off of his stick. Center looking for Reichertz on the backside. Quick shot. Cale Buchan and Kane Witterock having a little, or Lane Witterock having a little discussion after the play. Racy wins it back. Buchan dives into the corner. That's probably one of the softest penalties I've seen. Not sure what he called. What's the call going to be? Check. 2 minutes for roughing. I think he deserved at least one for being tackled and ridden into the end boards. Cale will go for 2. Waterloo on a penalty kill. Buchan, Tompkins, Reicherts, and Caldwell. Kansas City up to the point. They're going to wrap it, hard wrap all the way around. Almost trying to get it out of the zone. Block in front by Buchan. Reicherts with a couple moves to get out of the zone. Caldwell going with him. Off of a couple of skates. That's going to go back the other way. Tompkins and Harn now. Tompkins puts another shoulder down. Shot comes in from the point, well high. To the high slot. Another shot comes in off of the inboards. Can't clear it. Another high shot. Sounded like that one might have been off a Reichert's stick. Reicherts and Harn work on the inboards. Harn shoved down to the ice, up to the point. Cross ice pass one time. .55 seconds left to go in the Buchan penalty. 7 minutes left in the period. Shot's a little lopsided. Warriors tally 16. Kansas City only 9. Rasty, Loeb, Rowe, and Harn to the far side. Loeb with a little bit of room. Kansas City will send it all the way around. That one's going to travel outside the zone. Harn will pick it up at the red line. He'll take a look, wait for them to come to him, and then send it back the length of the ice. Loeb will chase. Centering pass, but nobody home. Reicherts to the far side. Harn kicks it back out of the zone. Kansas City will have to touch up. Send it into the skates of Rasty. Harn takes another look. They'll send it down. That should just about do it for the penalty. Buchan will come out. Back in the zone, back to the corner. Foot race. Buchan will pick it up. Had Rasty breaking into the slot. Big hit by Buchan. What's that? Yeah. Yeah, that's the one that's going. I think Carter Buchan's going to go for 2 also. Referee has already lost control of the game, trying to gain it back. Both Buchans have seen the sin bin tonight. Not sure what the calls are. I'll listen for a confirmation on what the ruling was. We might have one checking from behind, I think is what you said, Brent. Call it a roughing. We're going to still skate 5-on-5. Oh, Buchan's going to take a checking from behind as well, it looks like. We're going to have one ejected? Looks like they're just going to send the Jets player for just because there's only about 6 minutes left, which I don't know why they're not doing the same thing with the Warriors. Still going to skate 5-on-5 regardless. I don't know what's happening. So is the Buchan penalty just a 2 then? They don't have it up. Reichertz chips it in deep. Bushbaum with some pressure. D-to-D passes for Kansas City as they exit the zone. Reichertz with a lot of pressure. He's going to keep it in. Caldwell has Bushbaum in front one time. Big save for Kansas City's Krugel. That'll travel the length of the ice. They're going to wave it off. No icing. Nobody there to pick it up for Waterloo. Reichertz now looking for somebody. I'm not sure. Kansas City will keep it in. Bushbaum's going to go for a penalty now. 2 minutes for a rough. Now we're going to be back to 5-on-4. JP. Still no clarification on the Buchan penalty, that Buchan penalty or the other Kansas City penalty. Racy set to take the draw, wins it through. That was going to clear the zone. Buchan gets to it. Tries to tuck it around. Looked like he got a stick on it. Racy trying to work at the inboards. Kansas City all the way around. Harn's there to kick it the rest of the way. Can't get it to clear. Kansas City sets up in their offense. They'll change spots. Once again. Into the high slot. Pad save for Graveman. That's the second time Graveman's had his helmet taken off. No penalty. Again. Yeah. But there should definitely have been an arm raised on that. I think even if that one, if the puck would have ended up in the net, that should have been goalie interference. Right. Yeah, I think that's why he kept waving it off. No, his helmet already been removed, and Caldwell set to take the draw. Wins it to the far side. Harn kicks it out. Foot race. Goalie steps out to play it. Kansas City back the other way. Chips it into the zone. Tompkins tries to send it out. Can't. Caldwell chips it back out. That one will travel the length of the ice. From the dot, comes through. Nice shot, just over the blocker of Graveman. Waterloo back to full strength. They're trying to figure out some times over there for the 10-minute. That's the first 10 minutes that they got. Shot comes in, glove safe for Graveman. Kansas City up by 2. Varsity tied up on the play. Puck still sitting on the dot. Shot from McAfee travels high. That's going to be outside the zone. Buchan will race for it. He's going to get there first. Buchan and Loeb work on the end boards. Loeb and Buchan trying to kick it free. Racy laying in wait in the slot. Back down below the goal. Looking for Racy, or Loeb actually had posted up out front. Kansas City sends it the length. No icing. Lackadaisical play by Harn. Almost has his pocket picked right behind his own net. That one's not going to get out of the zone. Back in. Oh, puck's loose. Graveman thought he had it. Quick whistle. 2:39 left to go. Everybody will get a personnel change. Over to Buchan. Buchan will take a few strides behind his own net. He's got some room to skate. Makes one miss. Shot, glove save. Great rush by Carter Buchan. Two and a half left to go. Kansas City wins it back. Up to the point. Carter Tompkins holds the zone. They're going to send that one towards the net. Buchan's going to go again. High slot. Blocker save. What was the call? 2 minutes for an elbow? I didn't see that either. I thought that was a pretty clean hit. Maybe up a little high, but it definitely wasn't an elbow. Waterloo back on the penalty kill. Now we're going to have Buchan, Rowe, Harn, and Caldwell for the first shift. Harn tries to send it length the ice. Kale comes out to play it. Oh, just overskated it. Got a stick on it. Kale Buchan on another breakaway. Off the post. Reichert's now tracking it down on the far side. Clears the zone. Rowe tries to clear. Kansas City will get a stick on it. Looking for a cross ice pass. Caldwell, I think Caldwell got a stick on that, chipped it out. 1 minute left to go in the period. Icing. They're going to say he played a body instead, so high stick, and we'll get a whistle. High stick. Face off in the Kansas City zone. 52 seconds left to go. Take a minute of intermission to give a shout out to our franchise sponsors for the Waterloo Warriors this year. We need one more. We need one more. We need one more guy. Loeb takes a spot. Wins it back. Harn wires one in. That was in a travel just wide. Loeb steps in. Looking for somebody out front. Kansas City goalie standing strong. Breakout for Kansas City over the line. Shot deflected in front. Sticked away by Harn. He'll send that, try to send it out. That's going to be deflected off a body in front. 16 seconds left into the slot. Harn still can't clear. Shot from the point goes wide. 3 seconds left. Glove save. And that's going to do it for the second period. Shots on goal, 20 for Waterloo, 15 for the Jets. Waterloo still with a 2-goal deficit. Take a second here. Like I said, we'll give a shout out to our franchise sponsors. Calling the 50-50 raffle number. And for our franchise sponsors, we appreciate your support. Waterloo West High Athletic Booster Club, Farm Bureau Financial, Taylor Zimmerman, Iowa Metal Recycling, Linda Gienow, Lindgren Glass, Pratt's Pest Control, Standard Distributing, Tina Miller, Woodsmall, Dennis and Elaine Loeb, Loeb Farms, Pat Kinsinger, B&D Drywall, South Ridge Dental, Dan and Lisa Putbreeze, Marilyn Payne, Tracy Putbreeze, 5 Seasons Tire, MC Inc., American Pattern and CNC Works, Bayer Motorsports LLC, Natural Glow, Kurt Gross, Double A Management, Jeff and Pam Coots, Dolores White, Roger and Sandy Schoonover, Ronan Industries, KCH Properties, Highway 63 Diner, Jerry and Judy Buchan, Rasty Appraisals Incorporated, Rasty Reynolds, and Community Chevrolet of Cedar Falls. We appreciate your support. Back to action, third period. Waterloo still playing 5-on-4 for the next 5 seconds. .17 minutes on the board. Caldwell, Reicherts, and Bushbaum. Caldwell pushes it through. Kansas City all the way into the zone. Back around behind Graveman. Buchan will pick it up. It's like it's caught in his skate. Kansas City takes over. Blocked by Tompkins in front. Caldwell trying to chip it out. Reicherts tries to chip it out as well. That will travel to the far side. Bushbaum will pick it up. Chips it out of the zone. Kansas City right back in. Tompkins to the midboards for Reicherts. Over to Bushbaum. Bushbaum and Caldwell 2-on-2. Can't gather it up. That one travels right into the crease. No Warriors there to put it away. Reicherts left it for Bushbaum. That was going to travel outside the zone all the way down. Icing is going to be the call. That one almost should have been waved off. A couple steps and they might have been there. Buchan, Rasty, and Lope. Buchan skates over top of it. That one's going to get pushed out of the zone. Harn races back to pick it up. Tries to find Loeb. Buchan chips it in deep. Loeb will chase. Looking for Buchan out front. Can't work through. Kansas City will take over. Chip to the far board, or to the near boards. Kansas City chips it down below. Rowe will pick it up. Trying to find Loeb. Loeb chips it out. That'll travel the length of the ice. That's going to be icing on Waterloo. Back into the Waterloo defensive zone. Caldwell, Hild, and Reicherts. Caldwell wins it back up off the glass. Reicherts has some room to skate. Caldwell upended on the play. Totally away from the puck. Hild in the corner. Up to the point for Buchan. He'll walk in. Shot comes in. Deflected wide. Reicherts has it knocked off of his stick. Caldwell slides through. Give and go. Caldwell chips it up. That was going to travel the length of the ice. No icing. A lot of pressure. Buchan chips it back the other way. Tompkins behind his own net. He'll start out. Up to Loeb. Chipped in by Hild. Loeb with some pressure. He'll chase it around his own net. Picks it up. Has it for just a second. Kansas City gathers it back in. Harn holds his own. Loeb sends it towards the net. Ooh, that one could have been bad if it would have drifted a little bit farther in. Buchan pressure behind his own net, or behind the Kansas City net. Stretch pass. Intercepted by Rowe. Harn tries to chip it out and can't. Walks all the way around. Gets to Graveman. Graveman will hold on. Nope. Comes loose. Icing once again on Waterloo. Loeb shaking up on the play. Caldwell, Reichertz, and Hild. Caldwell wins it back. Harn can't get to it. Kansas City into the slot. Shot for Graveman. Graveman trying to hold on. Caldwell leaves it for Harn. Reichertz will pick it up. Hard wrap to the far side for Hild. Hild up to Caldwell. Caldwell around one. Shot travels high over the net. Kansas City back the other way. Rowe sends it back into the Kansas City zone. Cross ice pass. Intercepted by Rowe. Reichertz and Buchan drop in. Pressure by Reichertz. Reichertz looking for somebody out front. He's pinned on the boards. Buchan sends it in to the far side and up. Intercepted by Carter Buchan. Sticked away by Krugel. Stretch pass for Kansas City. That'll be an icing. Back to the Kansas City zone. Got Buchan, Racy, and Bushbaum now. To the corner. Buchan steals the puck. Racy kicks it back around. Buchan harassed in the corner. Racy steps in to help out, to no avail. Oh, Kale keeps it in. Sends it back below the goal line. Bushbaum steps around. Off the midboards. To Buchan. Buchan off the blocker of Krugel. Kansas City sends it the other way. That's going to be icing. Caldwell, Hild, and Reichertz. A little bit of a line shift. Rowe tries to wire one through. Hit a body in front. Caldwell with a turnover. Oh, skated just over top. Actually, Hild rather. Skated right over top of it. Trying to find Reichertz breaking out of the zone. Kansas City will send it back in and around. Hild on the far side to the midboards. Caldwell kicks it free. Off some bodies in front. Nobody there to help out. Caldwell steps in again. Shot off the pads. I think that was Rowe that sent one through. Buchan looking for somebody out front. Loeb taken out of the play. Had his helmet completely knocked off. Outside the zone? Unbelievable. Buchan had it won. Racy tries to trap behind the net. Kansas City comes out. Tompkins tries to send one in. That's going to be deflected off a stick. Buchan sends one in below the goal line. Kugel steps out to play it. Cross ice pass. Tompkins steps in, intercepts it. He's going to go back the other way into the Waterloo zone. Buchan walks in. Shot deflected up over the net, up into the netting outside the arena. Face off to the right. Line change for Waterloo. Caldwell back to Rowe. Into the slot. Still there. Couple of tips. Reichertz gets a goal. Waterloo trailing by one only now. Nice poise by Joey Reichertz to wait, let the goalie get unsettled and put it up over top. Kansas City sends it back the other way. That's going to be icing. Back into the Kansas City zone. Definitely. No brakes, all gas. Like Waterloo might be pushing for one here. A little bit of a change of lineup again. Kansas City back the other way. That was going to travel back outside the zone. Cross ice pass. Up into the equipment of a Kansas City player. Chipped back into the Waterloo zone. Tompkins will take a look off the glass. Finds Loeb. Tompkins will go for a skate. Cross the blue line. Tries to make a move. Not a great move for a defenseman. That was going to travel the length. Icing will be the call once again. Kansas City looks like they might be getting a little bit tired. Icing the puck pretty much at every chance they get. Whether that was intentional or not, I'm not sure, but Waterloo definitely needs to put their foot on the gas. This is where all the conditioning comes in. Caldwell, Hild, and Reichertz. Caldwell pushes it through. Ends up on the stick of Kansas City player again. Into the slot. He'll turn. Couple of touch passes. Rowe drives it through. Pushes it to the inboards. Pressure by Caldwell. Hild's. Rowe keeps the zone. And that one's going to be out. No, icing waved off. Rowe tries to tie the man up on the inboards again. Looking for somebody in the slot. That was going to travel outside the zone. Kansas City will have to touch up before they send it back in. To the far side. Grady chips it in. Up to the point. Carter Buchan taps it back in. Oh! Tip from the inboards. Kansas City comes right out to him. To the far side of Graveman. Carter Buchan tries to chip it out. 3-on-2 developing. Cale Buchan once again. Shot goes wide. Tompkins holds the zone. Back down deep. Kansas City with a hard wrap. Doesn't clear. Buchan taps it in. Caldwell picks it up. Caldwell looking for somebody in front. Kansas City sends it back down for icing. Waterloo fans not happy with referee Dolan tonight. I've got my personal reasons. My son has been held and tackled and hooked on all three of his breakaways. Or all three attempts, rather. Quick shot by Caldwell. Just can't find a way around him. Caldwell tries to push it to the corner. Reichert's works in the corner. Had Caldwell breaking through. Couldn't connect a pass. Reichert's still working. Caldwell now leaves it for Reichert. Tries to get it back to Caldwell. Trying to push it through the slot. Caldwell has a lot of room. Oh! Loeb will take it. Crosses the blue line and has it poked off of his stick. Carter Buchan will bring it up with some speed. Into the zone, looking for somebody. Cale Buchan, blocker save. Cale and Carter looking to connect on something there. Tompkins sends it down deep. Loeb on the backside. Nobody in front of the net. Onto the stick of a Kansas City player breaking through. Glove save. He'll go ahead and let it go. Broken up. Sent back in. Blocked by Buchan in front. Slap shot comes through wide. Blocked by Racy. Kansas City will have to touch up. By Loeb, just barely made it off. Tompkins now, he's going to try to send it in. Can't get it through. 4.5 left to go. Oh, Caldwell skated just over top of it. Harn sent it in on net. That was going to be chipped down. Icing is going to be called on Kansas City once again. Waterloo trailing by 1. Out shooting the Kansas City Jets 27-20. Caldwell to Hild, over to Rowe, to Harn. Harn's looking for a shot. Stick save, loose in front. Krugel's gonna hold on to it. Caldwell to our Kansas City wins it to the corner. Caldwell takes over. Kansas City back the other way. Has it poked off his stick. Reichert's looking for somebody. That one's going to be deflected. No icing on this one. Harn holds his own. Caldwell can't gather it up. Harn looking for Caldwell, breaking through the neutral zone. And he'll send it back in right on Graveman. Trying to find Hild. Icing is going to be the call. 3.5 left to go. Face off back into the Waterloo zone. Racy set to take the draw. Wins it over to Buchan. Buchan hard wrap for Loeb. To the midboards for Kale. Kale trying to chip it out, can't. Tompkins up to Loeb. Loeb hard wrap around for Buchan. Buchan takes a look, looking for somebody in down below. Racy with a bit of a mishandle. Buchan will come away with it. Up to Tompkins. Tompkins wires one through. Come out and play it. Graveman shuts him down. Great play by Lincoln Graveman to keep that one from behind him. Carter Buchan's got some room. Found Loeb on the far side. Loeb brings it in. Shot deflected up off the glass. Loeb with a give and go. Finds it on. Harn has it dislodged from his stick. Kansas City kicks it back out. That one's not going to make it. Get it back up. Up to Harn, standing all alone on the blue line. He's going to wrap it around. Caldwell below the goal line. Pass up to Caldwell, over to Rowe. Harn with a. Caldwell tries to take it in. That was going to come back out, have to retreat. Harn has it dislodged from his stick. Rowe tries to find somebody up front. Reichertz will work it in. Into the high slot. Ran into his own player. Shot blocked by Buchan. That one might have been in. Caldwell works through. Into the slot. Buchan holds his own. Sends it through. Kansas City tries to send it down. Empty netter, 4-2 for the Jets. Block shot. Can't gather it back up. Kansas City took it all the way in for an empty netter. We'll get a timeout here quick. We're back. Waterloo's going to start with 6. Buchan, Caldwell, Loeb, Reichertz, and Harn. What do we got left? 52? 52 and some change. Puck ends up on the far side. Carter Buchan brings it in, shoves it down to the goal line. Caldwell and Reichertz work for it. Buchan wires one in. That's hit some skates, ends up in the corner. Harn looking for somebody out front. Back up to Buchan. Buchan wires one off the face mask. Not sure that was, I didn't see it. That sounded more like a face mask to me. Face off ends up back in the Waterloo zone off of a high stick called by the Caldwell pushes it through. That one's going to be off of a Kansas City player. That should be outside the zone. I'll say that was off KC. But hey, why not? Every other chance. Kansas City keeps it in. Buchan brothers getting a little excited in the corner. Might as well just let these 4 seconds run out and be done. So don't let them walk down the hall together. Just let the 4 seconds run out. Never seen that before. Well, that'll do it. We'll be back in the morning. 8:30 and 10:30 are your times for your games in the morning. We'll see what happens. It's no love lost here tonight. Thanks for tuning in today, and